It's November 8th. JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today and the Treasury Titans. It is Saturday. I am producing an episode for you on the weekend, as I will be tomorrow as well. So if you appreciate that, hit the like button, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Where are you listening from this weekend? I would love to know. Nothing in this video is financial advice, but my friends, check this out. Michael Saylor wants us to know that Strategy announced pricing of its Stream perpetual preferred stock upsizes the deal from 350 million euros to 620 million euros, almost a doubling, not quite, but close to a doubling. It just shows the insatiable demand for this type of product and is allowing Michael Saylor and Strategy to yet again connect another siphon to the world of dirty fiat, to the world of dirty credits, $300 trillion worth plus around the globe, and turn it into amazing Bitcoin on the balance sheet of Strategy, which is benefiting you and me, the MSTR shareholders. So this is fantastic. This would be somewhere around like a 7,000 Bitcoin buy coming in the next week or two. So giddy up. Zinc says the demand for digital credit is incredible all around the world. The upsizing to 620 million euros makes Stream one of the largest IPOs in Europe in 2025. Let me repeat that. Makes Stream one of the largest IPOs in Europe in 2025. I mean, Stretch was the largest IPO in the US. Stream, one of the largest IPOs in all of Europe in 2025. I mean, why not get greater than 3.5 or let me rephrase that. Why get less than 3.5% from European bonds when you can get 10% from a Bitcoin-backed fixed income product? Monumental. Absolutely. And even Ragnar chimes in here with a 100 bullseye. Erme says this offering on Stream will close on 13 November, so in about 5 days from now. So expect Strategy to announce a large Bitcoin purchase no later than 17 November. So between today and 13 November, I expect to see Bitcoin move up noticeably for a variety of factors. If the shutdown ends within those same 6 days, the recovery should be much larger. Expect it. Ragnar says Strategy casually raising 617 million with their first euro denominated pref, a 7,000 plus Bitcoin purchase incoming. Next, they'll be doing ones in Canada, CAD, Great Britain, maybe even CHF, and maybe even JPY if Metaplanet doesn't get there first. Or even if they do, I'm sure Strategy will come in and say, hello. We're also diving into our future with Stride. He just wants us to take our future in stride because Michael Saylor, like myself, is quite surprised that Stride is down to $75. I mean, it makes some sense because a lot of people are just obsessed with Stretch right now because they're going to get paid out on a monthly basis. But hey, the next payout for STRD is December 30th. And so that snapshot date is going to be December 15th, I believe. So you should start seeing in about a month people starting to pour back into Stride to get these incredibly juicy gains. I mean, right now, this is just an absolutely incredible yield, 13.29%. And that's before you even factor in the fact that it's return of capital. So you're not paying taxes, you're doing a deferred tax scenario. So insane opportunities. Zinc says the amount of grown men on this app blaming Saylor for the price of MSTR and their investment decisions is honestly embarrassing. Day after day of complaining and whining. If you hate the stock so much, why don't you just sell it and move on? MSR is up 1,178% over 5 years, by the way. It's the short time horizon. By the way, a lot of people who are fudders, they're pretending that they're complaining, but they're actually short the stock. So they're trying to spread FUD. There's a lot of bots out there. I mean, my comment section is filled with bots. I have to battle it every single day. That's why I so appreciate when you, a human that's actually listening, comments, because it means so much. So thank you for all those individuals that do that. I see every single one, and it's really meaningful. But it's so true. It's just like Zinc says, the amount of grown men on this app blaming Saylor for the price of MSTR and their investment decisions is honestly embarrassing. They were so excited to invest when it was at 500 and seeming like it was going to continue to go up forever, although nothing goes up forever. And yes, it's been a valley of despair. It's not been enjoyable for anybody. I haven't been enjoying this, but I'm enjoying what the future is going to bring because I have a long-term horizon. Zink says, MSTR will continue to underperform Bitcoin when is stuck in the doldrums. When people are expecting Bitcoin to go to 200 and beyond, the speculators will return and expand the MNAV premium. That is what amplified Bitcoin means. People are coping by blaming ATM. So here's the deal. Amplified Bitcoin means when sentiment's down and sentiment is negative, MSTR is going to underperform by a decently large amount as it has been. The sentiment is low. Bitcoin sentiment is in the doldrums. But when it flips and Bitcoin is going to 200 and beyond, which we know is inevitable, the amplification is going to return and it's going to be incredible times. But in those incredible times, I will be doing this show saying, my friends, this too shall pass. Just like these doldrums will pass, the incredible times will pass. It's going to be a pendulum this entire way. Do you think any Tesla investor over the past 10 years has experienced anything different? Has an Amazon investor experienced anything different? Look at these charts. They're insanely the same because that is the reality of volatile assets, which Bitcoin needs to remain. It's going to become less volatile, but we need it to remain volatile for obvious reasons. Okay. Hermes says, over the past year, looking at daily close chart, MSTR finished around the 237 to 240 three other times. This time, yesterday and today, was the fourth, creating a quadruple bottom, which is significant support, so long as it doesn't break that support and finish noticeably lower in the following days. When these levels are held, all of the factors remaining constant, we can expect to see short-term mean reversion, which should be around $310 to $315. Now, I'll just put an asterisk here because this, although very likely true, at the same time, MSTR is always going to be completely reliant on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops down to 92, MSTR is dropping down. It's just a fact. There's no such thing as a support level for MSTR at $237 per share if Bitcoin drops another 10%. That's just not how this works. So I like this because it's true if Bitcoin continues to chop around here and then starts going back up. But at the end of the day, we signed up for the Bitcoin train. Jackson says 41.6%. Wow. 129% in the last 2 weeks. Stretch liquidity is going parabolic. The future of credits. I mean, look at Stretch. This is the weekly volume of these. Boom, 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 down 34%. But then boom, boom, it's going through the roof. And of course, this is when he mentioned the upgrade to 10.5%. That seemed to kind of tilt the wheel a little bit. And what I think it really did is it wasn't so much that 0.25% that tipped the wheel. It just proved to people that MicroStrategy, they will continue to raise the rates that we are paid out as Stretch. They will continue to raise the yield that we are paid out until it just is slammed up at that $100 point, and they can just keep ATMing their faces off every time a big buyer comes in at the $100 or above. So that's just the goal. I see it so clearly. I mean, to me, I actually honestly would not be surprised if next month they raise it another 0.25% to 10.275. That would not surprise me. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did it 2 more times to get it to 11%, just to see how 11% was, because they know they can cover 11% easy, and they want it to be just so desirable. And 11% to me sounds really desirable. And hey, if it ends up just not working out for any various number of reasons, unintended consequences, etc., they can drop it back down to 10.75 to 10 point. They can always come back. That's part of this amazing game that they can play with Stretch. Now we're going to continue that incredible interview with Michael Saylor on Schwab. So sit back and enjoy your weekends. And thanks for the comments. Senator Cynthia Lummis recently announced that funding for a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve can start anytime. This is a massive step forward for a strategic crypto stockpile, and no surprise, was soon followed by a new all-time high for Bitcoin. If you're looking to buy more Bitcoin, BitIRA can help. In fact, BitIRA will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into Bitcoin. This also allows you to buy Bitcoin using pre-tax funds, then continue to invest in it over time as you do any other retirement account. And if you want, you can even add XRP, Ethereum, or other cryptos. BitIRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and is registered with the US government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Think about this. In March, President Trump signed an executive order for the Treasury to manage 200,000 Bitcoin as the foundation for a reserve. That's just the foundation. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. Fire Nation, when you want more for your business, more privacy, more guidance, more success, it all starts with Northwest Registered Agents. These legends have been helping entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses for nearly 30 years. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in the US with over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know your state's laws and actually care about helping you win. With Northwest, you can build your complete business identity, everything from what your customers see to what they don't, operating agreements, meeting minutes, compliance paperwork, and more. You'll get thousands of free resources, lawyer drafted forms, and step-by-step guides all in one place, and you don't even need to create an account to access them. Best part, privacy is automatic. Northwest never sells your data and handles everything in-house. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
Let's just take a step back. I mean, obviously, you founded Strategy in 1989. I just want to get a sense of what Bitcoin is to you. I mean, you've called it digital gold, but you've also talked about how, the fact that it's evolving faster that people can digest, but also the fact that there's a lot of criticism out there and it will continue to be misunderstood. How do you speak to that? I mean, how do you reassure the markets about what you're doing out there?
The best way to think about Bitcoin is it's the world's first example of a technology that allows individuals or corporations to tightly bind economic energy to their person. Like if you have 100 families and they all have some money, but they don't trust each other, they don't trust their bank, they don't trust their government, they don't trust any company, but they want to keep their money. So they come up with the idea of a digital bank. You write it in software, and the digital bank has 21 million coins, and anybody can buy any amount of the coins in the bank, and that becomes their bank in cyberspace. Now, the question is, who runs the software? Well, I might trust you, but I won't trust your great-great-granddaughter. So we all run the software. Everybody runs the software, and then the software continually cross-checks everybody else. And so it's a very elegant, decentralized way to create a property network or a decentralized banking network. It's a protocol for economic prosperity, right? So it's like you speak English, I speak English, we can communicate. You use Arabic numerals, I use Arabic numerals. We could do math together. When you offer me nine bananas, I know what 9 is, right? Because we both use the same numbers in the same language. Well, what if we want to trade together and we don't want to rely upon any government or any bank, and we want to do it for 1,000 years? So Bitcoin represents that breakthrough. It's the first time in human history that an individual can own anything without asking the permission of someone more powerful than them. If you have 1,000 Bitcoin and you have the private key, nobody can take it away from you. You can carry it with you. You can send it anywhere on earth. You can take it with you to the grave. You solved the problem that the pharaohs in Egypt couldn't solve. How do you take your money with you, right? So that's a big idea. Let's just call it a bank in cyberspace where you put your money and no one can steal it. And it's currency in the sense that there's never going to be more than 21 million. So when you buy a Bitcoin, you're buying 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world forever. That's the idea. What do we call that? I call it the world's reserve capital network, right? It is capital. What is capital? Long-term store of value. You're a rich person. Where do you save your money for the next 100 years? not in a currency. You don't buy pesos, you don't buy euros, you don't buy the US dollar, you don't buy the yen. If you're a rich person and you want to save your money for 100 years, you're buying equity, private equity, public equity. Maybe you're buying scarce desirable art. Maybe you're buying real estate, commercial real estate. So the capital assets of the 20th century were like the S&P 500 index or New York or London real estate, or maybe sports teams if you're lucky enough to be able to buy one. But what Bitcoin represents is digital capital, right? If I have a bank and it's a network, a bank, I can move the money. I can move $1 billion from here to Tokyo in a few minutes. So then that way it's a network. But it's also capital itself. If I gave you $10 million and I dropped you in the middle of Africa and I said, buy anything you want, buy any equity, buy any land, buy anything, buy any bond, buy anything, but you got to keep it for 30 years in Africa. Or I said, or you could buy $10 million of Bitcoin, and by the way, you can send it to Singapore or London or Paris or New York in 2 minutes from your phone. I would submit to you, there's not a single thing you would buy in Africa.
What's the second best? There is no second best.